Okay, next day, which is now just 2 days after the discovery of the tumor. First thing in the morning, I got a call from Cleveland Medical Clinic. They had their own, case coordinator, just like they do in at Scripps, that was trying to help set up all my appointments. And so they said that I needed a colonoscopy and an MRI and wanted to set up a meeting with a colorectal surgeon and a liver surgeon. And I think I ended up having two coordinators, one for the liver surgeon and one for the colorectal surgeon. So,
And biopsies.
and biopsies for each. So I asked them, should I get MRI while I'm still in California because I have time, had 3 or 4 days? Should I try to get colonoscopy? What can I do in the meantime? And they said that the colorectal surgeon would actually do my colonoscopy Tuesday morning before our appointment himself, so that he had enough information in our meeting before we actually met face to face, which sounded amazing to me because they hadn't even talked about a colonoscopy yet at Scripps. So I got that information, and then I went to my primary care appointment at 9 a.m. My primary care appointment was pretty uneventful, but one thing that did happen is that he told me the size of the tumor on my liver, which is 16 centimeters, which I had to look up as 6 inches. So it's a big tumor in my liver. And that was a little shocking. I mean, I would have liked to have heard a much smaller number. I'm still not really sure what that means, but it can't be good. And then he asked me if I was feeling any pain or discomfort, because he said he could prescribe some pain pills. And if I was feeling nauseous and having difficulty eating, because he might be able to prescribe something like that. And I really wasn't. I took the opportunity to tell him that I signed up for a PPO, so I didn't think I'd actually have a primary care physician. And he said, but I could still see him if I wanted to. You still do, visit doctors. You just don't get assigned a primary care. And he said it would still be covered. And then I also told him about my experience with getting the appointment at Cleveland Clinic. And he had good things to say about Cleveland Clinic. And when I told him the story, I think he said I would have done the same thing. And so that was a little reassuring. After that, I left that meeting. I went home, and Trish gave me a ride to the next appointment, which was my liver specialist, which was the one that freaked me out. It was supposed to be 2 months away, but he met me much earlier. At the liver specialist, the first time I actually saw the CAT scan and the images of the 2 cancerous spots. And it really is, most of my liver that has cancer right now.
And to put it in perspective, a human liver is about 10 inches long, and his tumor is 6 inches long.
That's the average liver. I think my liver is probably bigger because I'm a pretty big guy, So maybe mine was, 12 inches long and the tumor is 6 inches, but it's still, it's most of it, for sure. And then he talked about needing a colonoscopy and needing to get that scheduled. Now, when I told him that I had switched my insurance, this was now the 26th that I'm meeting with this doctor. My insurance is now changing on February 1st. So he's like, it's good that you switched to a PPO because it's probably going to help you in the long run. But the problem is he didn't think he could schedule a colonoscopy and get it done before the 1st and he can't schedule it and get it approved with one insurance company and then get it done with on a date when I don't have coverage through that insurance company. So he suggested that he would wait until the 1st to put in the request to get a colonoscopy, and then it might take a couple days to get approved, and then we would schedule it from there. So I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how long it's going to take, because it might not even get approved till the 3rd, and then maybe I can't schedule it till the 7th. Time's of the essence. So I took the opportunity to tell him about my opportunity to go to the Cleveland Clinic, and that the doctor there said that he was going to give me the colonoscopy that morning before he met. And the doctor at Scripps was shocked, I would say. That he's like, you're going to get a colonoscopy before even meeting with him? And I said, yeah. And he's like, well, we wouldn't be able to do that kind of service here. He's like, go to Cleveland. And so I think it was at that moment that I decided that for sure I was going to stop with my treatment in San Diego and proceed with my Cleveland treatment. He did order a few blood tests on the way out for cancer markers, which took a few days to get results from, and so I'll talk about those on those days. But that was pretty much the end of it.
Give them the backstory about your doctor and his opportunity at Cleveland.
Oh yeah, my doctor said that Cleveland's a great clinic. He's like, in fact, it's so great that they tried to hire me and wanted me to go there. He's like, but when I saw how hard they worked, he said he decided he'd rather stay in La Jolla. So I think he was afraid of the number of hours he was going to have to put in Cleveland, and decided that he wasn't up for the task. But he had nothing but great things to say. And I think he said he had some sort of history at Cleveland too, because he said he knew the doctors there. He had been trained there or something. So he had good things to say about Cleveland Clinic as well. So after that, we went back to Scripps to get a copy of the CAT scan on disc so that I could make sure to bring it. And just going through my notes. Yeah, so we went home from that point. I worked on booking tickets to come out to Cleveland, one-way tickets. And I started telling some, more close friends and relatives about my situation. Oh, so at that point, I talked to Trish, and I booked one-way tickets to come to Cleveland the day before our appointment, right? Or 2 days before?
2 days prior.
2 days before our appointment. That way, Steven, my friend, lives in Michigan, so I decided to fly into Michigan. He gave me a house that I could stay in and a car that I could use, and so I came a day early to get that all in order before driving down to Cleveland. And that was the end of the day. And so more news next day.